Hello, welcome to How to Play Prelude in A, Opus 28, number 7 by Chopin. All right, today we're going to do another page in our workbook, page 20, and this is the harmonic analysis of the piece. So let's get started. Okay, here is the piece. In these little boxes are where we are going to put the Roman numerals. It's not very complicated, of course it's not very long. But let's take a look. We're in A major. In the last video, we did a chord chart. So if you have that chord chart, mine is not filled out right there. You can refer back to, oh, here's this chord, here's this chord. All right. We start on an E. Now, if we're in the key of A, E is number 5. That's a dominant. And here is actually where we start the chord. We're going to analyze the chord. E, G sharp, B. E, G sharp, B. It's a 5 chord. Weird. Things don't usually start on a 5 chord. They usually start on a 1 chord. Now, to make it even a little bit more strange, the strong beat of this measure right here does not even start in the chord of the measure. It's what is called a non-harmonic tone or a non-chord tone. Non-harmonic tone. Okay, so that C sharp does not belong in this 5 chord, but it resolves to the D, which is in the chord, and then it rests on the dominant chord for that measure, or this little phrase. Okay, what comes up next? Well, it's an A right here in the bottom. A is the tonic, or the number 1. Yep, we come to the number 1. And here's an A on the bottom here, and an A on the top here. So this is kind of a strong resolution to 1, because the tonic is on the top and the bottom. This is not 1. It's a non-harmonic tone again, and it resolves upward to tones that are in the chord. But on that strong beat, it starts not on the chord. It really adds tension and interest that way. Okay, then right here, we have an E. There is no G sharp. The G sharp doesn't come in until right here at the very end. But here in the meat of it, there's no G sharp. And then there's a B, there's a D, and an F sharp. So E, G sharp, B, D, F sharp. There's an extra chord tone. We usually do a 5-7. Now we've added one more third on top of that 7th. So this is actually a 5-9. It still functions as a dominant. It's still the 5 chord, but that 9th just adds a little bit more harmony and tension. Then we bring in this G sharp, which resolves upward to the A right here. And this is A, C sharp, E. It's a 1 chord. However, look at the root right here. The root is not an A, and the top note is not an A. So this isn't going to be a final, solid, resting feel. It's the tonic, but it's a very weak tonic. So he's telling us we're still going somewhere. Okay, this next one is like the very beginning. This is the non-chord tone. It resolves up to the D, which is part of this 5. E, G sharp, B, with a D, so that's the 5-7. Then right here, an A, E. Wow, we add in some really interesting notes here. What is this? This would be the 1. It looks like the 1, right? Okay, let's go 1. It's an A chord, but then what do we do here? We go F sharp, C, E, F sharp, A sharp. Wow. Okay, we're going to talk about something that we haven't talked about, at least in my class yet for this workbook. We've talked about dominance, and the dominant, the 5 chord, resolves to 1. So in the case of A is 1, and if you count up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's E. So an E chord is going to resolve to the A chord, usually. Now, let's pretend like we're just going on a little vacation, and home is not going to be tonic right now. So we're going to pick a new home. We're going to go live right here. How do we set that up? If you're Chopin and you want to feel like home is somewhere else for a minute, you can use the number 5 above that to resolve to that. Almost like it's going to have that home feel, but it's not really home. It's a vacation home. Okay, he does that to the 2 chord. So right here we're going to be on the 2 chord. What's the 2 chord in A? B. A is 1, B is 2, and here it is. B, D, there's a B right here, D, F sharp, right there. So that's the 2 chord in this measure with the non-harmonic tone right here. Then what is this? This is a 5 of the 2. And what would the 5 be above the 2? If the B is now our home, what's up 5? B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. And look, this is F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and E. That is the 5, 7 of the 2 chord. So it brings us home to 2 chord, but the 2 chord isn't really home. Now, if we're thinking back in A, we're going to go to the 5 chord where this E is number 5. And let's see, E, there's no G, yeah, G sharp, B, D. Oh, this is actually a 5-9 again, which resolves back to the 1 chord. It starts on A, and look, it has A in the root. A on the top, that's a strong, solid tonic chord at the very end. All right, now that you know the harmonic analysis, you can really stress the parts that are tension, the 5-9s and the 5-7 of 2, and then come back and rest a little bit in the resolutions that are the 1 chord. All right, have fun with that, and we'll see you in the next video.